segue there, Jerry. You want to talk about
Sports.
the McGregor retirement real quick?
Oh, let's talk about it.
So obviously, I think it was last night,
It was
right?
late last night. It was like 1 a.m.
Yeah, because we were playing like Warzone or something. Where we just finished up playing Warzone, and McGregor kind of just dropped a bomb on Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, hey, I'm retiring. See you guys later."
I'll find the
Yeah.
exact tweet right
Oh,
here.
I got it right here.
Oh, you do? All right.
Yeah. Hey guys, I've decided to retire from fighting. Thank you for all the amazing memories. What a ride it's been. And then he had something else about his mother in there, and he
Yeah,
posted a picture of his mother.
he followed that up with a it's a picture of him and his mom at like some kind of party or wedding or something, and he goes, "Here's a picture of myself and my mother
Right.
in Las Vegas, post one of my world title wins." So right
Right.
after, I guess, he won a championship. "Pick the home of your dreams, Mags. I love you. Whatever you desire is yours." So I guess he's buying his mom a house, but
Right.
I don't know.
So
But yeah, he claims he's retired.
okay, I'm gonna let you get into your thing first, your spiel, because I have a hot take about this. I have a conspiracy theory about this, and but I want to give you the floor first, right? So I can kind of
Yeah, he's full of it. Hasn't he's retired like 3 or 4 times, right? Like this is the
three
third
and
or fourth
three
time he's
times in
done
the
it.
last 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he literally just came back. Like he's like what, his early 30s? Like he's still
Yeah.
kind of in the prime of his career. He just
100%.
moved up to a new weight class. He's got all these new fighters that he's about to fight. He's full of it. They're obviously in some type of negotiation for either his next fight or his next contract or whatever. He's not happy with the money he's going to get. So he just said he's going to retire again. That's what happened the last 2 times, is that he was in some type of negotiation. And he said, if you don't give me this, I'll retire. And then Dana White was like, okay, but I know it means nothing. And he just went and retired anyway. So yeah, he's
Right.
full of it. He'll be back, and I give it less than a year before you see him again.
Okay. Well, I want to open up this door real quick, Jerry. Right. We saw him post with his mother. Right. We saw him say that he's going to buy his mother a house. He has 2 children, both of which are very young, both of which he said he wants to spend more time with. If you're talking about McGregor as an athlete, I'm going to get into that real quick. He's fought at MSG. He's fought Floyd Mayweather. He's fought the who's who of the UFC. He's won some, lost some, but I think we can both agree that he's one of the most iconic fighters and iconic athletes on the planet, right?
Probably you can make the argument he's probably like, I mean, there's a couple of guys up there that you could, but he's in that, top tier discussion of like the
Right.
guy in UFC ever.
Yeah, no, 100%. And
like skill aside, like legacy overall, like how he is viewed by the general public, he is one of the guys.
He's like one of those influential athletes that is loved by a nation. Like Georges St. Pierre, Canada used to go crazy when he used to fight. Because when the UFC would have contests in Montreal, they would pack arenas coming to see Georges St. Pierre. McGregor's kind of eclipsed that in a sense, where he's one of those people, and I would even put him in discussion with some of the top tier athletes like Tiger Woods, like Tom Brady. Like he is an icon for his sport, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
There's other icons in the sport like John Jones, Georges St. Pierre, but I'm saying he's in the conversation. I'm not saying it's an automatic lock, but I'm saying one could make.
Oh, if you're comparing the sports, yeah, I guess Conor McGregor would be like the Tiger Woods of UFC.
Right.
Like people come in, like people who don't ever watch will watch if Conor McGregor. Like people who don't watch golf will watch golf if Tiger's involved.
Right.
People who don't watch UFC will watch UFC if Conor McGregor's fighting. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So one could make a very valid argument based upon very strong facts for why McGregor would be one of the most iconic athletes, and certainly iconic UFC fighters of all time. He's fought at MSG, like I said. He's pretty much done it all. Not to mention he's loaded, which is why I don't necessarily believe it could be a contract negotiation. I just don't necessarily believe that if he's buying his mother a house, he has to be at least. I mean, the guy's loaded, right? I've said this before, back when he kind of like pump faked retirement. Does he really need to come back if he doesn't want to? Certainly not. All right, he's got proper 12. He has the UFC belt. Like, he doesn't have the UFC belt, but I'm saying he has plenty of title fights, plenty of performance of the night's bonuses, plenty of title. Like, he's made so much money over the course of his career, even fighting Floyd. He doesn't need to come back, right? That's where I want to get into this. What did we see with Kobe Bryant when he retired? Before he died, of course. Rip up. Rest in peace. He wanted
What do you mean?
with Kobe. Remember when he retired, he wanted to spend more time with his kids.
Sure.
he started to become more of a family man. I think this is the same thing we see with McGregor, because when McGregor is fighting all these guys going to different places, doing title fights, he's not seeing his kids, right? I think his family spoke to him. I think his girlfriend, I believe it's Delvin.
I don't
I
know her
forget
name.
the name of his girlfriend. It'll come to me, I'm sure, right after we record. But I think he wants to become more of a family man. I think in reality, all of those charges and remember how he came back a more humble man. I truly do believe he is, and I think he realizes, what comes along with the limelight, and that's not being able to see your family as much. You might be able to get more money, but it's kind of like a lonely life, and it's one surrounded by controversy. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Jerry. I don't think we see him come back, or if we do see him come back, it's going to be at a reduced capacity as like a commentator, which would be sick because his fight IQ is off the charts.
I think the difference though between him and Kobe Bryant is like, yeah, whatever, but Kobe Bryant was like coming off major injuries at the end. Like he wasn't
That's
himself
true.
anymore. He was old. Like it was the end of the line. Like, he wasn't like Conor McGregor is like he's still got some prime years left. Like, and he's still the guy. When he's involved, he is the guy. Like, he might not be, but he might not be the best fight, but he is like the guy. Like,
Right, of course.
like his name carries more weight. I just, he's retired like 3 times before. I don't really necessarily see like he'll be back. Like I just, with all the fights that they had planned out for him, with all the big names that he was gonna like, I think it's at most a year, maybe 2 before you see him fighting again. Like I don't.
No,
It's such a weird time to retire because he hasn't retired in 4 months. Like he hasn't fought in like 3 or 4 months, right? So
right.
like I don't really understand
It's
why the timing is now, except if he was going to have like a big midsummer fight that they were trying to plan, and he said, "I want more of a cut of that," and they were like, "No," and he was like, "All right, well then I'll retire," like he has done before.
right. I'll give you this, Jerry. Right, the timing is remarkably odd. The timing is so weird, especially because he said right after the Cowboy fight and leading up to the Cowboy fight that he wants to be more active. He doesn't want to sit back. He wants to be coming off of that late the I think it was like a 2-year span before the Cowboy fight. He said, "Listen, going into this fight, if I win this, I want to be active. Like I want the best of the best. I want to be active." People were talking about Masvidal. People were talking about Justin Gaethje. And he was like, "Listen, whatever happens, happens. Whatever they throw at me, I'm gonna take." And now he's just kind of like out of the blue retiring, which is why I don't think it's necessarily all his idea, and I think he was kind of coerced into it. I think this has something to do with his family. I don't think he'd like why it's such a random thing to include your mother in a tweet about retirement. Maybe he was just
He's a
feeling
weird
sentimental.
guy.
What?
He's a weird dude.
I mean, sure, you could look at it that way, but what if there's something deeper with this? That's where the conspiracy theory comes in. I think it has something to do with his mother. I think she talked him into because think about this, right, Jerry? You were talking about Kobe Bryant, right? Injuries at the end of his career, he wasn't himself. Even if you're young in the sport of MMA, it's still MMA. Like you go in
Mhm.
there. I mean, MMA. You've
Yeah.
seen some of the fights where people just get mangled. Now, I'm not saying Conor has gotten mangled a lot of times in his career. He's actually kind of mangled the opposition most of the time. But maybe there's also something else. Maybe there's a reason why his mother is trying to talk him into retiring. Like, what if there's some unseen injury that'll come out some way down the road in like a 30 for 30 documentary on him. We don't know yet. We just know that he's retiring. So I'm just speculating here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I just, again, like, we're going to go back to, like, there's only so many athletes that you'll ever see in your lifetime that, like, transcend, like, they're bigger than their sport. Like,
Yeah.
they bring their sport to the next level in terms of people tuning in to watch it. Like, Michael Jordan was that way with basketball. Like, people who didn't watch basketball before became basketball fans because of Michael Jordan. People who didn't watch golf before became golf fans because Tiger Woods was just that
Sure.
dude. Like people who don't watch MMA watch it if Conor McGregor's involved
Yeah.
because he's just that dude. Like, and I'm not saying that in terms of, like I'm not saying Conor McGregor is in terms of like skill at his sport on the same level as like Tiger or Michael Jordan, but like in like his personality leaps and bounds like puts him into that category of like people want to watch this dude. Like
Yeah.
people like for whatever reason, I mean for whatever reason just love this dude. So he can't really do much wrong
Even to the
in
point
terms
where
of
he
getting people
physically
to come
assaults
in.
someone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like people still forgive him.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's the greatest guy in the world, but people, whether you love him or hate him, you tune in.
Yeah,
So
he puts
I
asses
don't
in
know.
seats.
I don't see a way that he walks away from this. I don't see a way where UFC lets him walk away from this. So I don't know. We'll see. But again, I think he's done this a couple of times before.